make a little video to show you the IVR automation script that I wrote that I was telling you about a couple weeks ago. So I want to show you everything kind of from start to finish what the process is. So first I start by getting all of the IVRs that are requested into this Google sheet where I have the client name, I have the vertical that they belong to, which determines what script it goes to. Then I have what voice they want, if they want male, female, no preference, whatever. And then I have a link to the CS. And these numbers tell me how many characters are in my client name, which is important for when I export it out of Pro Tools. It has like a character limit. So if it goes over that character limit, this turns red, and I know I have to shorten this stuff up. So that's really important for the bounce and make sure that it doesn't the automation doesn't freeze up or anything. So now, once I have this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how many I have, which is 11. And I'm just going to go over here, and I have a script that I wrote that asks you how many do you want to open. I choose 11, and it just goes through and it opens each one of these in order. So that way I record it from the end to the beginning, and then it's all in the exact order of my list. So once it's done doing all of that, I can start here, and I have my first one to record, and then I kind of just go down the line. And so I'm going to record it now. I have all my tabs open. I can now create my tracks. So I know I need 11. So I'll go back to Pro Tools. It'll ask me how many I want. I'll say 11. It'll make 11 new tracks, put them in numerical order, and then it automatically selects my microphone input, puts it in record ready, and solos that track. And then it says, cool, you're ready to go. And then once you're done, we'll make magic. So now is the time where I go through and I record them all. Our tracks recorded, and now it's time to run the massive batch. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get started. First thing it does is it saves my session. So if things go, all fucked up, then I'm right back where I started with all my recordings. Once we're ready to go, we hit OK. It asks if we want to be emailed when we're done, and I would. If we hit no, it just keeps going. If we hit yes, it brings me to this where you can enter your email. It's predefined with my email address because it doesn't really need to go to anybody else. So I just hit OK. But the cool thing is we can edit this and put, your email address so you can get all this stuff. Hit OK. It goes through and it selects all the tracks that are I just recorded, which is in a folder. It adds space to the front and end of it, so all the files are the same length, which is important for this part. So now we go through this process called strip silence, which basically what this does is it allows me to cut out all of this blank space before and after the waveform. So this is really the only kind of manual process really that you have to go through. And it's just you can adjust different parameters, and so everything inside this white box is what's being kept. So I kind of got it to go so I can go through it pretty quick, but you just go through, make sure everything is looking good, a little bit of padding on the waveforms, and that's it. We're ready to go. So once that's done, you just click OK. Now it goes through, it selects all the tracks again, it makes them super small so you can see them, and it asks who your artist was. So I was the one that recorded all of these today. Sometimes it could be Sherelle or Ingrid or Jason. And then you just, whoever you select is whoever's template it matches all the files up with. So since it was me, I'll select Wax. And so it opens the Wax folder and it reveals all of the templated files in here. And you can see there's templated recordings already set up and ready to go. So once you do that, now you can say, how many IVRs are you recording? So we know we have 8. Yeah, I removed a couple. So we just enter how many we're doing. You hit OK. And then it goes, do you want to do a find and replace through Google? Yes, this is important. So what this is going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to swap all the vertical names to be either all caps legal, medical, or home services. This is important because it takes the vertical name and it renames the clip to the vertical, and then it matches that to whichever template you're working with. So if you're working with Wax's VO and it's a legal client, then it matches it with Wax's legal template, and same with medical and home services. So it does some kind of, there's scripting in there that says look for this token and make sure it matches with that token, all that kind of stuff. That also, find and replace is also going through and finding any bad non-website safe characters, pipes, slashes, apostrophes, ampersands, things like that. And then I have a secondary file renamer after this is done that goes through and removes, that one removes ampersands and spaces and things like that. So once you're done with that, you're basically ready to begin. So we're going to basically say, cool, this is your last chance. You're ready to go? Let's do it. So what this is doing in the Google Sheet, it goes to the first column up here. It copies it. It goes back to Pro Tools. It renames the clip to whatever vertical it is. It matches it with, again, the script, so legal-wax. It then nudges it all together, so it's all one complete file. It selects the whole file. It bounces it or exports it. It renames the bounce as the client name and then adds mix 01 to it, bounces it to a predetermined destination on my desktop. And then once that's done, it selects only the recorded part, not the template part, deletes that clip, goes back to the track, deletes the track it was on, goes to the next track, and does the whole cycle all over again, as you can see. Now, the other cool thing is in this top corner, you'll see kind of little notifications. So I have log files that basically can appear so that I know it logs every time a bounce is complete. You can see, and it tells me the name of the bounce that was complete for the last client. And the reason that's really cool is if my script fails, if my computer blows up, my power goes out, something happens, I can go back to those log files and I can see exactly what the last file that successfully bounced out was. So now I know, oh, it was this client, which was IVR 8, and now I can go and start on IVR 9 and just continue from there. I don't have to redo everything. I don't have to start from the beginning, and I'm not completely screwed over. So that's why these log files are really, really cool, and it's nice that it shows a little notification as well. So there's also in the script a timeout where it prevents anything from happening until that bounce dialog goes away. There's a lot of waits, wait for this to show up, wait for that to go away, all that stuff. But that's it. You can see the Google Sheet, it's going and it's copying the client names and it's copying all of the vertical names and stuff, and it's fitting everything. And then once it's all done, it goes and it opens up a blank email. It writes an email for me basically, and it says the date it was complete, and how many IVRs were successfully completed. So you can see I just got that email. You have successfully completed 8 IVRs on today. So now I have a log of this was done on this day, and it says where it's saved, and then great job, keep being awesome. Thank you. I will. So once that's done, basically I can quit out of here. I don't need to update or save anything. And then I can go into my files and I can rename them. And then once that's done, I can then go into here, the IVR thing, and I'm working on getting a script to go through this whole list and automatically upload all of them. As of right now, I have to go into essentially each one, add IVR, blah, 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 and manually upload each one. So that's next on my list is making a script that can work here, and I would love to, get your help on something like that. There's definitely some stuff in the coding of these pages that would make things really a lot easier. So if there's names for each one in the code, I can actually go into the code and grab the name, the HTML code name equals, and pull whatever's in there, and use that to match up to my source kind of thing. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Hope you like it. And yeah, man, enjoy.